Imagine waking up in a place where your country has its own flag, government, and even currency. It looks, feels, and functions like a nation, yet the rest of the world says, sorry, you don't exist. Welcome to the strange world of unrecognized states, places that operate like countries, but remain invisible on the global stage. So, what makes a country a country? According to the Montevideo criteria, you need land, a population, a government, and the ability to enter relations with other states. But there's an unspoken fifth rule: recognition. Without it, a nation enters a limbo of existence, real to its people, but invisible to the world. Take Taiwan, for example. With over 23 million people and a booming economy, Taiwan checks every box. Yet, China's One China policy keeps it off the global guest list. Countries that officially recognize Taiwan risk angering Beijing, so Taiwan thrives in a paradox: a fully functioning state denied a seat at the table. Cross to Africa, and you'll find Somaliland, a region that declared independence from Somalia in 1991. It has a government, elections, and peace, things Somalia itself struggles with. Yet, no country officially recognizes Somaliland because doing so risks encouraging other breakaway regions worldwide. So, it remains stable yet invisible, a casualty of global politics. In Eastern Europe, Transnistria is a relic of the Soviet Union, clinging to its hammer and sickle flag. It has its own currency, laws, and borders, but no recognition. Moldova claims it as part of its territory, while Russia props it up. It's a state frozen in time, real to its people, but ignored by the world. Then there's Abkhazia and South Ossetia, breakaway regions of Georgia recognized only by Russia and a few allies like Syria and Venezuela. After the 2008 Russo-Georgian War, Russia's support gave them a semblance of statehood. Yet, for most of the world, they remain part of Georgia, symbols of how recognition often hinges on geopolitics, not legitimacy. In the South Caucasus, Nagorno-Karabakh tells a story of fragility. Populated mostly by Armenians, but claimed by Azerbaijan, it declared independence after a war in the 1990s. For decades, it operated as a de facto state. But in 2020, Azerbaijan reclaimed much of its territory, proving how unrecognized states can vanish as quickly as they appear. Some cases are almost surreal, like Sealand, a rusting metal platform off the coast of England. In 1967, Paddy Roy Bates declared it an independent nation, complete with a flag, currency, and motto: from the sea, freedom. Sealand is tiny and unrecognized, but its existence is a quirky reminder of how thin the line is between imagination and reality. In the Middle East, Palestine remains a battleground of recognition. Over 130 nations recognize it, but it isn't a full member of the United Nations. Palestine exists as a symbol of unresolved conflict, where politics overshadows identity. Then there's Western Sahara, claimed by Morocco but home to an independence movement. It's listed as one of the last non-self-governing territories by the UN. For decades, its status has been frozen, another reminder that the world's map is far from settled. These unrecognized states reveal an uncomfortable truth: recognition isn't about fairness. It's about power, politics, and alliances. Countries like Taiwan and Somaliland have everything a state needs but lack international acceptance because recognizing them would upset powerful nations or global norms. Yet, for the people of these shadow states, their homeland is as real as anywhere else. They live, work, and celebrate under flags that no one else acknowledges. Their national pride doesn't depend on a UN vote or a diplomatic handshake. It comes from belonging, culture, and identity. Ultimately, unrecognized states show us how fragile and subjective borders can be. Maps tell a simplified story, but behind every line lies a struggle for identity and survival. These nations, though invisible to many, endure against all odds, proof that a country's existence is not defined by recognition alone but by the resilience of its people.